Welcome to the How to Write a Book podcast, the show that helps you plan, write, and publish your book, even if you're a beginner or just feel like one. Now, for your host, she's written over a dozen books and helps others bring their books to life. Here she is, Massiel.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the How to Write a Book podcast. I am excited to talk with you today about and with author Jessica Flory. Oh my gosh, y'all, I think you're going to enjoy this. She is the author of Clean YA Fantasy Romance and also Oceans of Sand, which is on pre-order now. It's going to be her first, debut, going out there, launch party, all the good stuff coming out, I believe, which should be about today, June 20th. So y'all, you can catch that right timing. Thank you again. I hope you enjoy the interview. And of course, keep writing, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, and welcome back to the How to Write a Book podcast. Welcome, Jessica Flory. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. I was happy to connect. And the universe, great timing, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you have a book coming around right around the corner. So this is fantastic.
Yes, I'm so excited. My book comes out on Tuesday, June 20th.
Oh, okay, great. All right. This is going to be the goal then. We'll get this episode out before then so we can kick this off.
You're fast. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, whenever somebody else is like, hey, something's happening, I'll be okay, let's try to get the timing right. That's the good thing about having your own podcast. You get to control the show.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so let me do a little bit of bio here, but then, of course, I'm going to hand it over to you. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is your writing process. I mean, you have so much wonderful things going on in your life, but you still find time to write. So let me give everybody some context. All right, your biography here. Jessica Flory has a bachelor's degree in molecular biology from BYU Provo, and she uses that science background to dream up cool settings and magic systems. She's been a proud member of the Hot Mess Writers Critique Group since 2013. That's fantastic. Jessica is a mom of 3 crazy boys and 1 girl, a fitness instructor, and an avid baker. When she's not writing, she's found chasing her kids, making a mess in the kitchen, or reading with her husband. Oh my gosh. Yes, I love that. Tell us directly about yourself. I started from the bio, but I want to hear from you.
Yeah. All right. So like Massiel said, my name is Jessica Flory. I write primarily young adult fantasy romance. That is my book coming out on Tuesday. It's called Oceans of Sand. And I write clean, right? Like I want my kids to be able to read my books. I don't want to have to tell them, hey, skip pages 200 to 240, right? Like I don't want to have to do that. Yeah. So you can give my book to your teens and up and feel comfortable about that. But yeah, so I've always loved to write. I've loved to write since I was a kid. I've always wanted to have a book published. So this really is a dream come true. But other than that, yeah, I've got 4 kids. They are ages 3, 5, 7, 9. So boom, 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 boom. Yeah. My little girl is my youngest. She is such a joy. She's wonderful. And she's got 3 big brothers who really stick up for her and take care of her. So yeah.
Aww.
So they are oldest, youngest, Sam, Grant, Owen, and Gwen.
Oh, lovely.
And my husband is super wonderful and supportive. His name is Devin. He is always willing to step in and take care of the kids when I need to get some extra writing time in. So yeah, he helps. He helps a ton. Shout out to him.
Oh, yay, Devin. Love it. Oh my gosh. And I was reading that he takes you for a dinner when you finish a draft.
He does. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it. Yeah. So Oceans of Sand is actually the 4th book I've written. And every time I finished a first draft, he was like, let's go celebrate. We got to go out to eat. So he's wonderful. And of course, we will celebrate next Tuesday when Oceans of Sand comes out. So really excited about that.
Yes. And let's just put the plug in here, jessicaflory.com. So if you're early on in the episode, jessicaflory.com, you're going to find it there. Oh, amazing. Mm-hmm. That is so fantastic. I think I would definitely meet the deadlines more if I had a dinner promise. I should do that.
It's very motivating.
I love that.
So it's great.
Fantastic. Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, along with the process of writing Oceans of Sand, is your writing process. I mean, you told us you have 4 kids. I mean, that's fantastic. How do you do it?
It is wonderful, and it is very, very busy. Yeah, I think it is really a mindset, right? And I was talking to this with my friend Valerie. So also thank you, Valerie. She is part of the Hot Mess Critique group. They are a wonderful group. And it really is a mindset, right? Like parenting is wonderful. Having kids, the best thing ever, right? Writing, also wonderful. The best thing ever. Like having my book come out, best feeling ever, right? So amazing. And those two things aren't incompatible, right? Like you can do both. You can be a mom and an amazing mom. You can be a writer, an amazing writer, and you can do them both, right? It is a lot and it definitely requires balance, but they don't have to compete with the other necessarily, right? Like, and by that, I mean, when you're writing, you don't have to feel guilty that you're parenting. When you're parenting instead of writing, you don't have to feel guilty that you're not writing, right? Like, and it takes practice, it takes work, but it really does start with that mindset that you can give yourself permission to do both and to be both, right? A writer and a parent.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. I'm curious, did you arrive on that on your own, or was this more of accumulation of events and like an epiphany type of thought, mindset?
Oh, I definitely did not arrive to that conclusion on my own. And it was definitely, it's work and it's a work in progress, right? There are still some days where I have to write, like I have this deadline coming up and I can't be with you kids right now, right? Like, and there are times when I have to put my writing off and just be there for my kids. And it's not perfect, but I am working on, giving myself grace. And that's really what I recommend to other writers who are also parents and juggling so much out there, is to give yourself grace, let yourself feel the stress sometimes because it is stressful. But then also give yourself permission to let it go and just relax a little bit.
Oh my gosh, this is super inspirational just for me too, because sometimes, you find yourself, it's 8, you're like, I'm done with work, I'm this, I'm like, oh no, I'll write tomorrow. So perfect timing. This is fantastic. So I am curious then, do you have a writing schedule or do you feel like you approach it differently? Oh, perfect. Yeah. What's that like?
So I love routines. That's just my personality. And my routine has kind of changed over the years since I have been writing for so long. It used to be that I would just write during my kids' naps, right? Like that was all I could do, especially when they were super, super little, like in the baby stage. That was kind of all I could do. And really, I only did 15 minutes a day, like just 15 minutes. That was what I had to give at the time. And I always wanted to publish a book. So I stuck with it, just made it a habit. During my kids' nap time, I would get that 15 minutes done. And then I would stop, right? Like I didn't want to burn myself out. Even if I was on a roll or if I had more time, I would just stop. Like that 15 minutes was enough. Now I do have deadlines and things, and my kids are older, so I'm able to get a little bit more done, which is very nice. So now lately what I do is I wake up at 6:30-ish, which is early for me. It's hard, but it's worth it. And I'm trying to wake up earlier than my kids. It doesn't always work because they are pretty early risers, unfortunately. Especially now that it's summer with the sun so bright, they wake up pretty early. But generally, they know that like 6:45 to 7:45, 8 o'clock-ish is mom's writing time. And they're pretty good about not bothering me. Pretty good. We're still working on it. But so I generally get an hour of writing done. And then, go downstairs, take care of all my kids, take care of their stuff, just focus on them. And then in the afternoon, we've still kind of kept that routine of like quiet time, nap time going, even though none of them are taking naps as of now. My 3-year-old occasionally will, but she's kind of coming out of that stage.
Yeah.
So they will watch a show and I'll either get a little bit more writing done if I need to, or that's really my marketing time and kind of doing my social media stuff and all of that. So yeah, that's how I do it. That's how I make it work. Days when I need more writing time, my husband is great, like I said, to step in and help out there. So
That's awesome.
Sometimes get more done in the evening, but yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you have the writing routine, and whenever you need to expand, you either find it like when in their downtime or when your husband can step in.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Ask for help when you need it. That's another really powerful tip, is that, it's a lot and we can't do it all alone, right? And
Yeah.
parenting is a dream, writing is a dream. There's nothing wrong with pursuing both dreams and asking for help when you need it.
Oh, I love that. That's gorgeous thinking. I think that's more of the kind of thinking that we need,
Yeah.
'cause everyone's in a rush, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. So I would love to talk about Oceans of Sand specifically. So, like you said, this is your fourth book, right? Let's talk about the mentality. Where are you now? And I think you're working on the second book, right?
Yeah. Yes. I'm working on Dunes of Sand sequel, which is called Dunes of Water. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Oh.
I would love to know your mindset. Where are you now mentally? You're working on you're going to be published. This is your second book versus your first book.
Oh, yeah. Good question. All right. So my first book was essentially Wheel of Time fan fiction.
Nice.
Yeah, right. Like, I didn't call it that. I didn't really know what fan fiction was. This was kind of like in high school. I'm not really counting, like, I don't know, the notebooks of stories we filled in elementary school, right? Like, those were all unicorn stories, and we can just forget about those. But
they'll come back.
maybe. I'll just bury them away forever. But anyways, yeah. So my first book, I really just loved fantasy, right? Like, I loved fantasy. I loved the way it was so creative, and you could just, build this world. Like, I wanted to do that. And so, yeah, worked on that on and off throughout high school and college. And in college, I actually took a class from Brandon Sanderson, which was amazing. I was totally a fangirl and just went up to him and was like, "Will you sign my book, please?" And yeah, it was.
Oh, I would have done the same. Totally.
It was so awesome. Yeah, I loved learning from him. He's my writing hero. So that was fantastic. And that's kind of when my mindset shifted a little bit to be like, wow, I have some tools now. I can actually do this, maybe, right? Like, that's when that kind of started. I started to change my attitude a little bit and got a little more serious with my writing. And it's kind of just snowballed from there. I keep learning, right? And I keep practicing, keep working on it. And Oceans of Sand, when I was writing Oceans of Sand, so that took me, this was when I was doing the 15 minutes a day. So that it took me about a year and a half to write the first draft in the 15 minutes a day. And when I was doing that, I just kind of felt like, this is it. Like, this is really working together. Like, I think this is the book that's going to be published. And so I was, just super, super excited about that one. Passed it off to my hot mess critique group, and they were super excited about it as well. And yeah, lo and behold, it is the one that got accepted for publication from my wonderful publisher, Immortal Works. I love them. My editor, Lindsay Flanagan, is amazing. I actually met her at a conference, and she read some of my work and fell in love with it. So that's kind of the story there. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a story in itself. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Speaking of Brandon Sanderson, are any of the books back there? Are they his? I can't see with the.
Oh, they are, absolutely. I've got a whole shelf. The whole
nice.
Shelf there is him. Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely. I was like.
Yep. Oh, and also, speaking of Brandon Sanderson, if you've read his semi-new book, Tress of the Emerald Sea, so that came out pretty recently, and I was reading it, and I was just like, whoa, because it's about a girl crossing an ocean that is not water, right, to save the boy she loves. And I was like, this is Oceans of Sand. Like, she's crossing this ocean of sand. It's not water, with the boy she secretly loves. And I was just like, whoa, it's like me and Brandon have the same brain or something. No, not really. But if you liked Tress of the Emerald Sea, Oceans of Sand is a good one to check out.
That's amazing. Of course, great minds think alike. That's how it rolls.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I was like, wow.
Love that. That's amazing. And I'm curious, are you a plotter or a pantser or combination of both?
Absolutely a plotter. I have to plot. Yeah. I I don't know how people sit down and write and just have great things come out. And there are writers in my writing group who are pantsers and they write amazing stuff. But that's not me. I have to plot. I have to know my story beats ahead of time and kind of how I'm going to get to point A to point B to point C, right? Like, and sometimes my outline will change as I write it, right? Because you kind of get in your characters' heads and think like, well, maybe they wouldn't do that. Maybe I should put another obstacle in their path, or things kind of change a little bit. But generally, I don't change a ton. I generally stick to my outline pretty well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I was curious because you talked about writing routines. So I was like, it sounds like you might be a plotter. So I was like, all right, cool. I love to ask that age-old question,
Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so now your mentality is different. I mean, you worked with, or like you've had the class with Brandon Sanderson. That's amazing. I mean, what do you think in summary? What would you tell yourself from book one to now? Like, what would be like that piece of advice?
That is a great question. First of all, I would say, just don't give up, because especially if you are a writer and you love to write, which you are if you're listening to this podcast, just don't give up. Like, your writing will get better, right? Like, you keep learning, you keep practicing. That's really what it's all about, is the practice. That's how you get better. So don't quit. Yeah, like these 4 novels I have written, where Oceans of Sand is the only one being published, right? And I chose not to go the self-publishing route just for various personal reasons. I just knew it wasn't for me. And if that's the way you go, that's fantastic. It's another amazing route. But I knew I didn't want to do that. So each of these novels I queried extensively, right? Like, I didn't just let them sit there. I tried really hard and got rejection after rejection after rejection, right? And that's very discouraging. Like, there's no way around it. It's just hard, even if you're prepared for the rejections, even if you know that everybody gets them, it's still kind of a blow,
Yeah.
So my advice would just to be, keep going. Like, let yourself feel it. It's okay to be hurt, because it does hurt. But then don't quit. Like, make a routine and stick to it, because you will get better.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Yes, that is the message that we love to encourage at How to Write a Book podcast, because everyone's coming from different walks of life, or, different backgrounds of writing, blocks. And it's like, you can write, you don't give up, keep going. That's fantastic. That's excellent.
I do have one other piece of advice.
Yeah, go for it.
That really, really helped me a lot. So I read the book Story Fix by Larry Brooks. Or actually, no, that's his website. I'm sorry. His book is called Story Engineering by Larry.
Oh, yeah.
It is a phenomenal book. When I read that, it was that in combination with Brandon Sanderson's class, and all his lectures are actually on YouTube, which is wonderful. So you can watch them all. So that book in combination with his class really was what took my writing to the next level. So I tell all writers I know, like, read this book. It's amazing. So that helped a lot.
That's great. And you know what? I have come across also Brandon Sanderson's lectures on YouTube, but I think I forgot to plug that into this show. So thank you so much for reminding me.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I think he's so great for just putting that out there. So
yeah, he's a great presence. Like, his whole vibe is like, come on, you can do it. All right, let's get into it.
He's a nice guy. Yeah, he wants to help out other writers. Yeah,
I know. He really does. He just seems to always want to spread the word. It's so great. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Brandon Sanderson and trying to spread the word, I'm curious, where do you see yourself going next?
That is a great question. So I want this to be a career, right? I don't want it to take up all my time. Like, I know Brandon Sanderson is extremely successful, and that's because it is his full-time job, right? Like, he spends 9 hours a day plus, like, writing and marketing and doing all these things. I'm not ready for that in my stage of life, because I do have 4 kids, and that's okay, right? Like, I want this to be a career. I don't want it to just be a one-time experience, right? I want to keep going and I want to keep writing. But if it happens a little slower because I'm focusing on my kids, then that's okay with me.
That's a great, like, I think, mindset, because I feel like sometimes with, comparison thinking, we can fall into that, right?
It's
Um,
really easy to fall into that trap. Yeah. Even
yeah,
after you are published, like it doesn't go away. It
yeah.
only gets worse, honestly. Just comparing your publishing journey to others. It's really easy to do that.
I'm curious, how do you fight that? Like, how do you, like, is it a mantra, or you just like, put the blinders on?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have been struggling with that a little bit. But really, whenever I start to feel kind of like, ugh, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not doing as good as they are, or whatever, I just kind of tell myself it's okay to be proud of what I have accomplished, right? Like sometimes we forget that's such a simple thing, but sometimes we forget to let ourselves feel that. Like this is still an amazing accomplishment. Like, and it's okay to be proud of it. It's okay to sit there for a moment and just think, wow, I have done this. I have written a book. I have published a book. Wherever you're at in your journey, I am working on a book, right? Like those are amazing things. That's a huge accomplishment. And it's okay to be proud of that and to really focus on what you have done rather than what you haven't done, right? And it's easier said than done for sure. But that's kind of what I try to stop and like tell myself when I'm starting to feel, oh man, this is getting overwhelming. I'm never going to be able to do this and this and this, right? Like I just stop and think like, it's okay to be where I am at right now.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So switching gears, but also talking about something that you're proud of. Tell us about Oceans of Sand. Like, what is it about? What can we expect?
Yeah, thank you. So Oceans of Sand, again, like I said, is a clean young adult fantasy romance. You can expect a amazing adventure that's going to sweep you off your feet. A really sweet, slow burn romance. I'm kind of in love with these characters. The characters all grow and change, which is necessary for me, whether I'm reading or watching or writing something. I need characters that grow and change, so mine do. There are 3 points of view. You get my main character, Nora, her point of view, and then, of course, her love and best friend, Zadok, his point of view. And then you get in the head also of kind of their enemy, and he grows and changes as well. So that was a fun character to write. So the setting, the moon in their world is so big and so close to their world that it actually pulls the sand into waves. So that's actually kind of where the idea started, was with the setting. I was like, that would be really cool. And just kind of exploring that. And so Nora and Zadok are chosen to save their people, and to do it, they've got to cross the ocean of sand and kind of find this legendary artifact that might end this famine that's been going on for several years. So yeah, that's Oceans of Sand.
Oh, lovely. Okay, let's do it. Let's get onto Amazon, or wherever it's going to be available on June 20th. I'm excited. To read. And I love slow burn. I love slow burn. We don't have enough of that.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, and it's so painfully good. You're like, I want to absorb it.
Oh yeah, I love it. Well, in the moment when they finally do like express their feelings for each other, you're just like, ah! Like you just cheer. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I especially with young adult literature. I mean, it's like this champagne moment. Yes.
Yeah. So great.
I saw on your Instagram. What do you have, like this funny video? Oh, like you're reading young adult books, and your husband's like, "That's for young adult," and you're like,
"Yeah." Oh, and he's totally joking, by the way.
No, totally.
He's an amazing guy. Yeah. He's just, yeah.
It was funny. Yeah. I was like, I feel it totally. I'm in that boat. Yeah. All right. So where can we find you, Oceans of Sand, and anything else that you have coming our way?
Yeah, so Jessica Flory, that's FLORY.com, is a great place to connect with me. You can sign up for my newsletter there, so you'll be notified when Oceans of Sand comes out, and any other books. You'll be included in giveaways and sneak peeks and fun things. I also do write about writing with kids on my blog there, so that is a lot of fun. You can see pictures of my kids there if you'd like. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok with the handle Jessica Flory Author. So I'd love to connect with you there.
Awesome. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Everyone out there, jessicaflory.com, Flory, Oceans of Sand, coming out June 20th, which for us is just Tuesday, right around the corner. So congratulations. That's amazing. Cheering you on. Yeah.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll have you back for the second book. That'd be great.
I would love that. That would be wonderful.
Awesome. All right, everyone. We'll say goodbye for now. But Jessica, thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it. And good luck out there. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hey there, writer. Thank you for listening to the How to Write a Book podcast with your host, Massiel Valenzuela. If you like the show, we'd be happy if you left a review. For more information on writing and the writer's life, go to www.themassiel.com. That's www.themassiel.com. We'll see you on the other side.